scale, my answer is the private sector is the only way we're going to do it. If you wait for government to do it, we've seen it's been in and out of recent bills. It's pulled out. It costs too much. We don't have money. The debt's too big. Deficit every year. Just not going to be there, which isn't bad. And so the way I see it playing out, and that's what we're trying to do with the bipartisan policy, to bring everybody together, is the following. I think the problem is you got health care and you got long-term care support services, which aren't health care, but if we get that right, health care costs come down. If we know that seniors are taking their medicines to keep their blood pressure down, or if we're using technology to monitor them, we know that the burden that our healthcare system gets to pay for is going to be less. So the challenge that we have is marrying health care, the hospitals, the silos that Freda talked about, and putting it over a continuum. Now, who's going to do that? We don't have a God up there who's going to make it happen. So the private sector's got to do it, and this is the way that they are doing it today, and they weren't 5 years ago and 10 years ago. You have people in the hospital. Our federal government did a good thing in saying that community hospitals, 6,000 of you are out there. Now you're responsible for that patient after they leave the door, where you weren't before. And if they come back in 30 days, you're going to get hit. So the first time the hospital administrators have to think, I got to follow the patient-centeredness that John's talking about. Now, right now they're following it to 30 days, and then 60 days, and then 90 days, and 180 days. Who's going to fill that gap? The hospital will get good home health people. They will start getting caregivers involved, and they'll start paying those people, whoever the caregiver might be. It may be $12 an hour, but they will. Why? Because they're going to get punished if the patient comes back in. So that'll be conceptually about a year out. And then John mentioned the hospice and the palliative care. So hospice works well the last 6 months of life. It's used mainly the last two months, really, 2 weeks. But the palliative care, conceptually, to make it easy, I got to think simple because I'm a surgeon, is say the last year of life. There are companies today who are willing to accept risk today to develop that very expensive model to wrap a team around somebody. It costs money, but it's good. The private sector now, there are companies in the palliative care. There's 2 in Nashville that have sprung up to address that model, putting capital at risk, put team-based approach. So at the end of life issue, it's backing in. And from the post-acute hospital space, a year out or 2 years out, there are companies like Navi Health. And Navi Health looks at the patient, looks at the skilled nursing, looks at the home health care, looks at the retirement center, looks at the assisted living, looks where value is, results are divided by cost, and puts the patient there. That's private sector. It's private sector with government putting the guidelines out there. So I see at least the approach in the next 5 years, moving in from where John said the models have been developed, palliative, demonstrating the models, and then the post-acute space coming in. We still need to address this whole middle assisted daily living, open up the medicine, are people opening up the medicine bottle? Are people maintaining their weight? Are people getting fed well? And that, to me, is the real challenge that we have today.